Empaths never forgive this. It isn't the big argument that makes an empath disappear. It's the moment you teach them that their inner world is not safe with you. At first, you don't vanish. You try to understand. You translate their mood. You soften your words. You blame timing, stress, their past, your past. You even blame yourself. But inside, something starts closing. And if you've ever felt yourself go from warm to unreachable, from I'll work through this to I'm done, it usually comes down to one experience. I'll name it clearly in a moment. Later, I'll show you the quiet sign that tells you the disappearing has already begun, even while you're still replying like nothing is wrong. Empaths can forgive mistakes. They can forgive awkwardness. They can forgive a bad day. What they struggle to forgive is when their empathy gets used against them. Because empathy is not just kindness, it's attention, it's emotional presence, it's a kind of intimacy. When you attach as an empath, you don't attach to words, you attach to patterns. The tone behind good morning, the way someone repairs after they mess up, the way they speak when they're frustrated, the way they treat your sensitivity when it inconveniences them. So the thing that makes an empath disappear is not one incident. It's a repeated message their nervous system receives. Your feelings will cost you here. Sometimes it's sarcasm. You say something sharp, then laugh and call it a joke. When their face changes, they swallow it. You learn you can do it again. Sometimes it's minimization. They say, "That hurt me." And the response is, "You're overthinking." Not curiosity, not care, just dismissal. Sometimes it's a sudden reversal. They finally name something real, and within 2 minutes, they're comforting the person who hurt them. They're apologizing for their tone. They're managing the other person's reaction. And the original issue disappears, but something else disappears too. Trust. Here's the truth most people miss. Empaths don't disappear because they stop loving. They disappear because they finally stop bleeding quietly. Now I'm going to name the core experience because it's important to stop calling it sensitivity and start calling it what it is. The thing empaths rarely forgive is chronic invalidation after vulnerability, not disagreement, not different perspective. Invalidation. You share what's real in you, and it gets met with ridicule, dismissal, or punishment. Vulnerability is expensive for an empath. You don't just share information, you share your nervous system. You show what scares you, what you need, what you've survived, what you're trying to unlearn. And if the response makes you feel stupid for having feelings, your body learns one lesson. Don't bring your real self here. That is the beginning of disappearing. Not dramatic, not loud, quiet. You can watch it happen in small, ordinary scenes. You send a message that took courage. "I've been feeling lonely lately." You don't want a speech. You want presence. They reply with logic. "But we talk all the time." Or irritation. "So what do you want me to do?" And you learn that your emotional reality will be treated like a problem, not a person. Or you say, "Please, don't joke about that." And they answer, "Wow, you're sensitive." Like sensitivity is a character flaw. In that moment, they're not teasing. They're training you to hide. Or they disappear for 2 days, return with "I was busy," and when you ask for basic consistency, they call you controlling. Now you're ashamed for wanting reliability. These moments look small, but small moments are how the body learns where danger is. Because the empath's decision to disappear is rarely a decision in the mind. It's the body losing trust. Your shoulders tighten when their name lights up. Your stomach drops when you hear that slight change in tone. Your mind starts rehearsing how to say things the right way so you won't be punished. You become more careful than honest. And the moment you become more careful than honest, the relationship is already changing. Here's the harsh reframe that saves you years. If a connection only works when you are quiet, agreeable, and self-editing, then it isn't connection, it's performance. And performance is not intimacy. Now, why do people panic when you pull away? Because many people didn't realize you were carrying the relationship's emotional weight. You were the one who checked in first. You were the one who noticed moods and adjusted. You were the one who forgave quickly. You were the one who made excuses for inconsistency. So when you stop being available, the whole structure shakes. It's like the lights go out and everyone suddenly notices who was paying the electricity bill. And here's the part that matters most. You don't disappear at the first wound. You disappear when the wound becomes a pattern. A single hurt can be repaired. A pattern tells the truth about capacity. A pattern says, this is what you can expect here. And once you see the pattern, your empathy changes shape. It stops being a bridge. It becomes a boundary. That's why it feels like never forgive. It's not revenge. It's recognition. Because chronic invalidation doesn't just hurt you. It slowly makes you doubt yourself. You start asking, am I too sensitive? Even when you're simply perceptive. You start apologizing for your needs. You start shrinking your truth before anyone can shrink it for you. And then one day, something in you finally says, I can't betray myself again. That is the real breaking point, not anger, self-loyalty. Now, I promised you a quiet sign that shows the disappearing has already started, even while you're still present. Here it is. You stop giving them access to your inner world. You still reply. You still show up. But you stop confiding. You stop sharing the small joys because you don't want them mocked. You stop sharing your pain because it becomes an argument. You stop telling them your real thoughts because you're tired of defending your reality. You start handling everything alone. And this is why people feel shocked when you leave. They think it was sudden, but the leaving happened earlier. What's sudden is only the moment you stop pretending you're still there. Now, right here in the middle, I want to give you one action step you can do today that protects you without turning you cold. The next time someone dismisses your feelings, don't explain them. Don't debate. Don't prove you're reasonable. Say one sentence, calm and clean. I'm not available for being spoken to like that. Then stop. No paragraph. No defending. No rescuing them from the discomfort of being confronted with your boundary. If they have capacity, you'll see it. They'll slow down. They'll take responsibility. They'll ask what you felt, not what you meant. If they don't have capacity, you'll see that too. They'll mock you. They'll twist it into you're dramatic. They'll punish you with distance. They'll flip it into you being the problem. Either way, you get clarity without sacrificing yourself to get it. Now let's go deeper, because this is where the psychology becomes compassionate, not condemning. Many empaths learned early that connection was unstable. Someone was moody, critical, absent, unpredictable, or emotionally fragile. So you adapted. You learned to monitor. You learned to soothe. You learned to anticipate. You learned to keep the environment calm so you could feel safe. That adaptation makes you incredibly attuned. It also makes you vulnerable to a specific kind of harm. Being close to someone who treats vulnerability like weakness, if your openness becomes something they win against, you will eventually disappear because at some point you learn a new rule. My sensitivity is not the problem. My exposure is. So you stop exposing. You become selective. You stop trying to be understood by people who benefit from misunderstanding you. And that's when the panic shows up, not because you became cruel, because you became unavailable to manipulation. Now, if you're hearing this and thinking, I do this, I pull away, I vanish, I want you to hear something gently. Your disappearing is not you being broken. It's your nervous system choosing safety. But don't confuse disappearing with healing. Healing isn't vanishing to punish someone. Healing is becoming unavailable to disrespect while becoming more available to your own life. If you disappear and still check their page, replay old messages, wait for an apology, you're still tied to the same hook. The real shift is when you no longer need them to validate your reality. Because the deepest injury of invalidation is not what they said, it's what you started believing about yourself. So when you reclaim your self-trust, the cycle ends. And if someone is listening from the other side, wondering why an empath just left, here's the honest answer. It's not about grand gestures. It's about the small moments when the empath is real. When they say, that hurt, your job is not to win. Your job is to stay present. When they ask for consistency, your job is not to label them needy. Your job is to be accountable. When they set a boundary, your job is not to punish them with withdrawal. Your job is to respect it. Empaths don't need perfection. They need safety, and safety is built through repair. So let's land this cleanly. The thing empaths rarely forgive is chronic invalidation after vulnerability. The panic happens because you remove access that certain people relied on. Your action step is one sentence. I'm not available for being spoken to like that, followed by silence that protects your dignity. And the outcome you deserve is not being chased, it's being met. If this felt like it described your life with painful accuracy, subscribe. In the next video, we're going to go deeper into what happens after you disappear. The 3 ways people try to pull empaths back, how to tell real repair from temporary panic,